Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Let's talk about self-doubt. So guys, doubt is something that your mind is always going to be dealing with. Doubt is something that is, it's just intrinsic in our hardwiring in our brain, because doubt really what it is it stems from uncertainty, right? Because a lot of times, in the past, in our pre-ancestral days, we didn't know when we were going to get food. We didn't know when there would be inclement weather, or there would be attackers, right? Things like this, we had no idea. And there would be times where even if we had a great feast, we'd be like, damn, like, we got to preserve this. Or what if there's not enough? What if we can't build shelter? What if the weather wipes us out, right? So doubt is intrinsic in our hardwiring because of the scarce resources that were not as plentiful as they are now, thousands of years ago. So if you're doubting yourself when it pertains to your success, when it pertains to your goals and development, all I would say is you're gonna have times where you just doubt yourself, but you have to take action regardless of the doubt, regardless of the fear, regardless of the regardless of the uncertainty. Because one thing for sure that you can guarantee is if you let the doubt overtake you and you let it stop you from doing what you have to do and taking action, then you can ensure that that doubt is working for the it's not working for you, right? So think about it, right? I just used the scenario where we're talking about pre-ancestral humans, right? And Neanderthals and Homo sapiens, and how the doubt was there because of the lack of food, right? So one thing I can say is that phenomenon is true, right? And that your ability to take action, right? Like if you didn't take action back in the day and you had constant doubt and worry, right, you would starve, right? So in the same way, right, you have to equate your inability to go to work or your inability to work on your business because you're doubtful. You have to equate that to starvation, right? And if because I always think to myself, like, damn, if I stop working on my business, or I stop making content, or I stop learning, or I stop going to work, or I start leaving early or showing up late, then I'm making it easier for my starvation, right? I'm making it more likely that I'll starve, right? And that's really what you don't want, right? You obviously want to survive and procreate and continue the lineage, right? But our doubt often gets to us, right? And one thing I can say is that our childhood in the modern day has programmed us to obviously have instant gratification, right? So, back in, our childhood, right? Whenever we wanted something, we got it, right? Whenever you wanted something at the store, your parents gave it to you. Whenever you wanted something from a restaurant, your parents got it for you, right? Most of us were spoiled, right? I'm spoiled too. So one thing I can say is that you need to look back at your childhood and think to yourself, like, hey, like, how was I spoiled, right? Because a lot of times in the real world, right, if you're working, or you're trying to pursue your goals, you're not going to get that instant result right away. You're not going to get that instant fat loss. You're not going to get that instant $10,000 a month, or you're not instantly going to get a girlfriend or a wife, right, in the real world, right? You have to work for these things. Think about it. When you go to the supermarket with your mom or your dad and they get you whatever you want, you pretty much by default have this mindset that everything in the real world is just like how your mom and dad treated you, right, when you were a little kid. And in a sense, I think it's good to be not loving to your children, but I think once they get to a certain age, you have to say no to them, right? You have to say no, because when time comes, when they get to be an adult and they're in the working world, when they're dealing with the opposite sex, when they're dealing with physical fitness and dealing with competition, right?
and everything was just handed to them. They don't have the prerequisite skill set to deal with adversity. They crumble, and that's when the doubt, right, gets to them, and then they just don't take action because they were so conditioned to think that life was, you know, they ask for something and then they just automatically get it, right, in a short time span. So if you're doubting yourself, just one thing I can say is that you know, just be mindful of it, right? Because mindfulness will get you farther in life than a lot of, you know, other tactics and things that people teach. So when you're saying to yourself, you know, oh, I could never get 1 million subscribers, or oh, I could never make $100,000 a year, or you know, I could never have a stay-at-home wife, or I could never, you know, do things that are, you know, out of the ordinary. You have to look at yourself and say, hey, I can achieve that. I can make that a reality. I just have to take action in spite of my doubt, in spite of the fear, in spite of the uncertainty that is, you know, present in my mind at this moment, right? Because like I said, life is always uncertain. No matter how much, you know, our brain, right, is wired for survival. So, you know, every time, if you just analyze your thoughts on a daily basis, most of your thoughts are typically around security and comfort and certainty, right? So when you have, you know, when you're thinking all day, most of my thoughts are about my investments, my family, my security, my health, right? And what are all these thoughts tied back to? They're tied back to survival, right? So just know that the thoughts and everything, the doubtful thoughts and, you know, negative thinking and fear and uncertainty, all of that is going to be there because, like I said, every day is a new day, right? So, you know, there's different things we had to look out for in our ancestral past, right? Like I said, attackers, right? Famines, you know, vicious animals attacking us, right? Lack of shelter, inclement weather, things like this, right? So your brain is pre-wired to be doubtful and uncertain at times. So, you know, a lot of people in the modern age, right? What do when they get doubtful? They drink, they smoke, they suppress their urge to take action, right? Really what doubt is, you can look at doubt as an emotion to get you, or doubt as a phenomenon in your mind to get you to take action, right? Same thing with depression. It's like when you're sad or you're depressed, that's your body telling you, hey man, get up and move. Go and find food, because if you sit here for a long period of time, right, your brain is telling your body, hey man, you got to get up because you've been sitting here for 10 hours, 12 hours playing video games, and we need food, right? Even though there's like I said, in the modern world, there's a plentiful amount of food and everything available, your brain still thinks that there's nothing there. There's scarce amount of food, right? So that's why your mind is always in a constant overthinking, doubtful state, uncertain state, right? So just get comfortable with it and be mindful of it. And like I said, I mean, the older you get, the better you get at just understanding your thoughts and your emotions and your fears, and the better you get at taking action despite the present doubtful mind that often overtakes us and prevents us from doing the things we know we need to do. So yeah, guys, that's it. That's all. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you guys are new to my channel, make sure to subscribe. If you guys have any questions, comments, feel free to leave them down below. And as always, I will talk to you guys soon. Peace.